Hello and welcome to the Eng Lang Pro YouTube channel. My name is Abbie. I'm one of the tutors here, and all of the tutors at Eng Lang Pro have scored a raw 45 plus or above, and we are here to help you with everything VCE English language. Today we're going to have a run through with probably one of the most fun elements of syntax, sentence voice. Firstly, we're going to make sure that we can identify it, and I'm going to give you this one handy trick that means that you can get it right every single time and get it right very, very quickly, given that EngLang is extremely time tight. And then the second little bit of the agenda that we're going to be running through is how you can discuss this, no matter what sentence it is, to be able to maximize your marks and maximize how insightful your examiner feels your response is for your AC, for your SAQs, or even for your essay if you have a contemporary example that you're wanting to analyze. Now, grounding this a bit more in our everyday lives. Of course, understanding sentence type is really important for our exam. We need to be able to analyze it quick because the exam is time tight, and we need to analyze syntax as a whole to make sure we're not just talking about why the colloquialism mate is a really important feature for reducing social distance. There is always more to a text than lexicology, and syntax and sentence voice is one of those elements that, if you can discuss well, will really make you stand out and help you achieve your dreams of getting a raw 40, raw 45 plus. Now, of course, understanding sentence voice is super great for real life as well, because it's very much shaped around what people want to be telling you or what they want to specifically not tell you. If we can analyze this and get to learn how to pick up on it in our everyday lives, we're going to become people that are much more critical and knowledgeable of our surroundings, such as when we read things on the news or listen to someone's speech. Okay. Let's get into it. So the first thing is to quickly have a refresh that we have our three voices. We have active, passive, and agentless passive. Now, our active is thought of as the one that sort of tells you how it is, in a sense. It's X did Y. She ran to the store. We consider it as if we have an agent at the beginning, followed by the object. For example, she grabbed some bread. We've got she straight away being our object doing something, which is grabbing bread. If we go into passive, it's the other way around. It's Y was done by X. So you're putting who is doing it, who our agent is, at the very last. If we're thinking about grabbing some bread, we're going to be talking about the bread was grabbed by her. For agentless passive, we completely get rid of the agent. We're not stating who performed the action, who did the verb at all. For example, the bread was grabbed. Now, the top tip to identify is to insert by who whenever you have a sentence in front of you that you're not 100% sure. This is because whilst thinking about grabbing bread or a short sentence can be quite intuitive as to if it's active or passive, sometimes you can get lots of noun phrases jam-packed in there where all of a sudden you can't be too sure, oh, my agent and object are everywhere, how am I going to figure it out? So here's a breakdown of what we're looking for when we're thinking of the by who. If we can see, oh, by who, it's already there, you're already telling me, it's passive with an agent. It's a sentence that's constructed as to let you know who's performing the task, but that comes at the end. If it sounds grammatically correct, you could put by who after the verb and get a sentence that you reckon someone off the street would say. That's going to be your agentless passive. So that's the one where there is no agent, no doer of the sentence that they're telling you about. They're only telling you what happened, not who did it. If we can't really shove by who anywhere, or we're already told at the start who did it, our question is answered, then we know that it is an active sentence. Let's have a run through with a horse eating some hay. 3 sentences. The hay was eaten by the horse was eating the hay, and the hay was eaten. Alrighty, if we go to our first one, the hay was eaten by the horse, and we're thinking if it is active, passive, or agentless passive, we can straight away spot this by. The hay was eaten, and if we insert a by who into this, we get, oh, our answer. It was eaten by the horse. This tells us straight away that it is a passive sentence. with an agent. Now, if we go to our next one, the horse was eating the hay. If we try and insert our by who here, we have two things happen. Firstly, we know the answer. By who? Oh, it tells me at the start, the horse. Secondly, you can't really insert by who anywhere in this sentence without mucking up the grammar of it. This isn't something we would consider grammatically standard for English, which tells us that this is an active sentence. We know who was eating the hay, the horse. Alrighty, I'm sure you can gather what the sentence voice is right now. The hay was eaten. If we're trying to insert, well, who's doing it, we can put our by who directly after the verb. And one, this is a grammatically accurate sentence. The hay was eaten by the horse, by the human, by the cow, by who? And secondly, we can get this kind of emphasis, well, there's no one here. This sentence isn't telling me that it was my horse that ate the hay. Therefore, we know that it is agentless passive. Essentially, if you're ever stuck on what the sentence voice is, if you get a question in your SAQs, or you feel as though it could be important to talk about in your AC, shove in by who right after the verb, and you'll be able to find that, oh, I can tell straight away which one it is. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to how you can best discuss these, because of course, the way that you choose to structure to tell someone information if a horse was eating hay or if there's no hay left is really important to your purpose, to your function, to your intent, which are of course all other English language elements and pieces of meta language that we want to be able to connect to. Whenever we see a feature, we want to use our meta language and get it right, like we've just run through with the by who's, and then we must link it to an element of context. So let's ask ourselves the question, what does changing the sentence voice do? As a whole, there's kind of two main things. Essentially, it places emphasis on some parts and not others. If we think of the hay was eaten by the horse, it puts the fact that it was the horse that was doing it as end focus. So therefore, we end up with this fact straight away. I'm going to tell you that the hay was gone, and then I'm going to emphasize by using this by to tell you who it is at the end, the horse. If we think intuitively without meta language, well, what does the horse was eating the hay tell us? It tells us in quite an active manner, quite explicitly, here's the action and it was being done by the horse. It recalls the horse was doing this. Now, the kind of fun one that students, and I hope you can relate to this as the student watching this at home, will understand is that when we get to our agentless passives, we get this sort of almost angering sentence of, well, who was doing the action? Don't not give me the whole story. We get a obscuring of who is the agent. In this case, who did the eating? The hay was eaten well by who? So we can see quite clearly that we're trying to emphasize different elements in each construction, and that is going to be the golden money piece, the insightful bit. That's going to be your assessor picking up your work and saying, oh, this kid understands how important language can be. Now, I'm just going to run a quick through of why agentless passives can be quite fun and important to discuss. And this is because of two main things. We get a highlighting of what the important information is, and then we also get a highlighting of what important information is not. We get this hiding of information. For example, if we are with number one, we are highlighting the important information. With our agentless passive, it might not be necessary to know that it was a horse that ate the hay. The only bit of necessary information with the agentless passive, the hay was eaten, might be the fact that now we have no hay. So therefore, with an agentless passive, what is still there is the important part. The fact that there's no hay, the important part. Or if we're thinking of other elements of context, other motivations of our speaker, we could also be wanting to hide the important information. Maybe I don't want to tell the farmer that it was my horse that ate the hay. So instead of saying my horse ate the hay, I say the hay was eaten. So you have to be guessing, well, was it the cow, the sheep, the horse? And you can see from this perspective, judging on me as the speaker's purpose and intent, you can see that what is not there is the important bit. The fact that I've purposely left out the agent is because it's to encourage or to support my intent of not telling the listener that I'm at fault. Alrighty, now we're going to kind of ground this in a real life example, an example that might come up on your screen, I'm assuming tomorrow, if you're one of those students that loves to watch YouTube videos right before your exam, or if you're a student that has a SAC, it could be in 2 years' time. Who knows if you're a student jumping the gun. This one is from 3 years past. It is the 2022 VCA Section B, First Pitch for Kids. I will preference that typically for our written texts, our syntax, specifically sentence voice, will be most important. For spoken, you usually get a discussion in active voice, or it's not as much of a prevalent feature because we have phonology and prosodics taking the lead a bit more. Whereas for our written, particularly for our formal written, so if you're Unit 3 Area Study 2, specifically keep your ears out for your syntax and sentence voice, we get a lot more of a pre-planned typically, and a text that has been drafted and edited and with a very refined purpose, that our sentence voice is more relevant. And this is what we have here. This is the rules section. It is in the latter part of the text, and we have 3 sentences, 2 of which we'll dive into their sentence voice. We have the judges will pick a winner based on their objective analysis of the ideas and pitches. Winners will be announced at the end of the event. Alrighty, so for the first one, the judges will pick a winner based on their objective analysis of the ideas and pitches. If we're thinking about the sentence voice, remember our main thing to go to is, well, let's put our by who. Here we have judges will pick a winner. And if we want to insert our by who question, we can see straight away that we can answer it. Oh, who is it being picked by? The judges. This tells us straight away, oh, we know what the agent is. It's there straight at the front. My by who doesn't grammatically fit. Boom, active voice. Now, if we're thinking, well, what is actually the impact? Why do I need to know that it's the judges doing it, not just that it will be an objective analysis? Well, with our active voice, we get this idea introduced or reinforced that the competition is going to be objective. It's going to be fair. And so the people that will choose fairly, the judges, with this almost positively connoted noun judges of fairness being put straight at the forefront, being the first thing the readers read, the judges, is going to harmonize this sense of objectiveness. And so it's written in active to tell you straight away, this is what's happening, it's objective and it's fair, and this is who is doing it. Alrighty, let's have a look at our second sentence. Winners will be announced at the end of the event. If we go to our by who strategy, where we're going to put it straight after the verb, we can see, okay, winners will be announced by who? I don't know. Oh my gosh, alarm bells dinging in my head. My by who strategy has worked. I can tell straight away this is a passive with no agent. So what do we call this? An agentless passive. There is no agent. We don't know that it's the judges, or we do, but we're relying on our inference. They are not saying winners will be announced by the judges, or the judges will announce the winners. They're saying winners will be announced at the end of the event. So if we're thinking, why? How can I discuss this? How can I tell my examiner or my teacher or my friends if I get really angry at some agentless passive in a news text? Why is it important? Well, here we're highlighting kind of the most important events. It's not that you're going to be judged by a judge. It's that you will know if you've won at the end of the event. The announcing will occur at the end of the event. So it's not really perceived to be important that the judges are announcing who has won. Here, if we're going back up to our our dichotomy to look at it, what is still there is the important bit, and what is not there is the important bit. We can see with this one, it's not the fact, well, they're not trying to hide that it's judges doing it. They're not trying to obscure that it's judges. They're trying to instead tell you other elements. They don't think that restating judges would be helpful. We can use our inference and our sort of cohesion to work out that it's judges from the previous sentence that are going to be doing our action, that are answering our by who. Alrighty, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you still have any questions, any remarks, I highly recommend you check out the Eng Lang Pro website. It has a vast amount of resources to help you on your English language journey, covering everything EngLang. The summary of this video: remember by who. If there's one takeaway, it is the useful, handy tip to be able to identify sentence type correctly every single time. And then for your discussion, ask yourself, particularly for agent passives, why is a part not there? Is it not there because the other stuff is irrelevant, or is it because the speaker doesn't want to tell the listener something? By who, relevancy, obscuring. Remember those 3 elements. I hope this has been a helpful YouTube video. Have a lovely rest of your day and good luck on your English language journey.